presentation of the tiger. It's amazing. On my right here, Paul is the tiger handler who's hosting the presentation. Shortly he'll introduce the two tiger handlers that are on the island and the name of that big tiger over there. Welcome to Tiger Island. It's great to have you here. Today you're going to witness an awesome display of natural tiger behaviour, and we're going to introduce you to one of the most important conservation messages that's still facing the world today. I'm wildlife owl. Well, they call me that because I love animals, so hands up if you love animals. Good one. How does have a tiger handlers put their hands up? The animal kingdom need people like you folks to keep them safe and ensure they survive, especially beautiful creatures like that one over there. Now, over to you, Paul, to start the presentation.
Thank you, Wildlife Owl, and welcome everyone to Tiger Island. Hopefully the Tiger put on a great presentation for you today. Two things that you'll see in the presentation. The first thing is, whatever the tiger is doing, whether you think it's cool or cute, one thing they have all in common is that it's natural behaviours of tigers. Things that tigers would naturally do out in the wild. The second thing is that we don't force our tigers to do anything. We just ask. If they're happy to oblige, we reward them with food. And that's what I had. I've got a metal pouch on the side of his body. Lots of different food reward for the tiger. So the tiger doesn't have to do anything if they don't want to, but they are pretty motivated by food. Who isn't? Another way they're motivated is by you guys. So if you like it, feel free to clap and cheer about. The tiger loves the attention and actually out-motivates them. So let's meet the tiger got out here today. So I've got the one tiger out here today. His name is Khan, and Khan has been looked after by Pete today. So Khan is actually our youngest tiger here. He's only 4.5 years old, but he's actually our biggest tiger as well. He's 165 kilos. Good luck, Pete. So that's who we've got out here today, Khan. Let's give it a round of applause to welcome him. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate does relate to how tigers mark their territories. Tigers are solitary animals, and they like to mark their territories. Look, this is one of the ways they like to mark their territories in what we call a rise behaviour. They rise up on the tree, and what they then do is they get their claws and rake down the side of the tree, leaving a visual mark that they've been there. And it does leave a scent mark when they do that as well, because they do have scent gland in between the pads of their claws as well. Now, you can see how tall he is. He is pretty tall, but they can actually, this next behaviour does demonstrate just how big they are. This is what we call a freeze stance, and we've got to ask that tiger can't do this, and this is where we ask him to stand up on his back two legs to support his whole body, just on his legs. Give him a round of applause there as he gets up there. Nice work there by Khan. Now this is also called a fight behaviour because they typically use this behaviour when they're fighting another tiger. So you can see he's get up nice and tall on his back two legs. His two front paws are free to use to clobber the other tiger down onto the ground, which they then use their big teeth to finish off their job. So let's talk about their big canine teeth. You can see Pete has just put his hand in the mouth of the tiger just to peel back that lip so you can see those big canine teeth. So if you want to have a closer look at one, I do have a classic replica of one in my hand. See, you can see it's quite big. It's about 12 to 13 centimetres long. You might be thinking the one in my hand is bigger than the one in the tiger's mouth, and that's because most of it is in the jawline. Half the teeth is in the jawline to give it a strong foundation to deliver that powerful bite. Now running along the back of that tooth are these little grooves, and these grooves allow air into the bite side, which is important because it stops a vacuum effect from happening, so the teeth doesn't get stuck in that bite side. So if they do need to quickly release their prey to readjust and bite back in, they can do so safely. Now you might see behind the canine teeth there is a bit of a gap. We call those next set of teeth, where in our mouth we have our molars. But tigers don't have molars. What they have instead is what's called carnassials. Carnassials have very sharp teeth which you use to cut up their food. Not chew their food because unlike us, they've got no side-to-side movement in the jaw. They only got up and down. So those carnassials act more like scissors. They shear off chunks of meat which are then swallowed down whole. So that does come to the end of the first part of the presentation, and I reckon Khan has done a fantastic job. So let's give him a round of applause. And back to you, Wildlife Owl.
Thanks, Paul. So we've learned a little bit about tiger behaviour, characteristics. Let's take a short trip back in time, and have a look at the history of these amazing animals. 100 years ago, an unfortunate series of events took place that began the decline of tigers in the wild. Think about this. A century ago through Southeast Asia, there were 100,000 tigers, each with solitary habitats. A few years ago, 4,000 tigers were left in the same area. There's fewer numbers now. What do you reckon the reason for that decline is? What's the main cause? Us, humans. As human population has grown, we've displaced tigers from their natural habitat. We continue to remove natural habitat. It's almost inevitable at times in the past some form of tiger and human conflict would occur. It's confronting, but look at the impact it has on this species. We'll hold that there. Now later in the presentation, Paul's going to talk about the great work that donations from guests over the years to the Dreamworld Wildlife Foundation has gone towards. But for the moment, why don't we jump to the next series of behaviours?
I think so. Khan is going to leap across the platform there. Give him a round of applause. He's going to go back and forth between the two platforms. And you see he goes from the edge of one platform, lands on the very edge of the next platform. So that's a 3-metre gap there. And you might be thinking he's pretty much jumping as far as he can jump. That is not the case. We've seen our tigers jump 6 metres here on the island. If you're running what's the distance of a motor in front of us, don't worry, it is longer than 6 metres, about 5 centimetres or something. A tiger hasn't jumped out since I've been here. So why is only jumping the minimum distance is to conserve energy. Out in the wild, I don't know when the next meal is going to be, so they want to conserve energy whenever possible, and that's including just jumping the minimum distance that they need to jump. And we're just going to do one more jump there, and on this last jump, have a look at his tail. This tail is going to flick up, it gives them a bit more momentum, so again saving energy, and also helps his balance when he's jumping as well. There he goes. So that's some great jumps there from Khan, so let's give him a round of applause as he hops down. And we're going to slow it down now to do some formal training. So this is called mark training. So you can see Peter got some wooden mark boards in his hands. He can go and place them down on the ground for Khan. And Khan is going to walk up and place his 2 front paws on the boards for us. And when he does that, he gets a reward. Now you might be thinking this is pretty simple stuff, but it's actually great training because it allows us to do important husbandry with the tiger, like health checks. So with the tiger standing there with the focus on us handlers, we can bring a vet along and do some health procedures like x-rays and ultrasounds and give them the yearly vaccination without having to knock out the tiger. So less stress for us and less stress for the tiger as well. Now this training is also versatile as we can use it in media works like TV documentaries, commercials and programs. And we do this by having a second mark board, just asking the tiger going from mark A to mark B. Now while we have our tigers involved in media work, it's because it draws an income. But not for us, or for Dreamworld, or for the tigers here, but for the tigers out in the wild. As Wildlife Hour mentioned, tigers are getting less and less out in the wild, and that is due to habitat destruction and also poaching for their body parts. So here at Dreamworld, we're trying to raise money through the Dreamworld Wildlife Foundation to send to organisations overseas that are doing fantastic conservation work, like educating people about human-tiger conflict, and also teaching people that tiger body parts have no medicinal properties whatsoever. And we also fund 2 anti-poaching units, one in Russia for the Siberian tiger, and one in Sumatra for the Sumatra tiger, which is set on our big TV screen at the moment. So if you want to help out those causes, you can. Around the island we do have donation boxes, so if you feel free, if you got any loose coins in your pockets, feel free to head to those donation boxes and pop them in there. It does go towards saving tigers overseas. Every little bit counts. Or you can go on the DW website, dwf.com.au, and donate there. Or you can even adopt a tiger. That does not mean you get to take one of our tigers home, sorry, but you get some cool stuff and all the money goes towards saving tigers out in the wild. So that's the serious side of what we do here at Tiger Island, something that we are very passionate about. But I think it's time to move on to some more natural tiger behaviours. So you're being a bit quiet, so I'm going to ask you a question and want you to answer in your loudest voice. Who wants to see a tiger climb a tree? Yeah! Alright. Now, if you read a book about tigers that were written like over 100 years ago, it would say tigers can't climb trees. They're too big and the claws are too small to support their body. Well, Khan is going to prove them wrong. They're actually great tree climbers, they just need the right motivation. And up he goes, 2, 3, 4, all the way up there. Give it a round of applause. Fantastic climbing there by Khan. Now, if Khan jumps from the very top there and lands on the ground, he won't even hurt him one bit, he's one big tough tiger. But we want our tigers to look after their bodies in the long run, which is actually what he's doing now. He's sitting down to more sensitive before letting go. You can see that tail working, going side to side, how quickly his balance is climbing down. There he goes, give him a round of applause. Now we're going to go straight into the next behaviour, which does separate the tigers from all the other cat species. In that tigers love water, especially on a hot day like today. And he was a bit slow getting in today, but he's going down, going for that piece of chicken there, getting that piece of chicken. Give her a round of applause, fantastic job, that. So tigers are one of the few cat species that love water. The other big cat species that love water is the jaguar in Central America. And they like to get in on a hot day, like today, to have cooled themselves down. They live throughout Asia, and some of those Asian countries get very hot during the summer times. So they like to get in the water to cool themselves down. But our tigers, they like to play in the water as well. And we're going to demonstrate this once Khan's hopping out here. So we're going to see how our tigers play in the water. They like to make a big splash. So the action is going to happen on the pool. So have your cameras ready on the pool. That's where the action is going to be. I'm going to get Khan to have a big run up. Here he goes, chasing up that piece, get a big run up, and Peter's got a piece of chicken in his hand for Khan to chase after and jump after. So here it comes, get your cameras ready for Big Finale here. Oh, small finale. Let's give him a round of applause that he dives down for that chicken as well. And back to you, Wild right now.
It's cool. It's not often you see a tiger belly flop, hey? Now, let's give a round of applause to the tiger handlers. Paul on the microphone. We've got Simon at the back there, who's the safety backup, and Pete, very experienced tiger handlers. We're lucky to have you. That brings us to the end of our Tiger Island presentation. We hope you've enjoyed watching natural tiger behaviour and got a clearer understanding of this conservation message. Hey, you know that tiger group that found the tiger trap over in Sumatra? They've recorded a message for you, and we're going to play it for you right now.
Terima kasih atas bantuan dalam pelestarian harimau Sumatera.
Thank you very much for coming to Tiger Island. Enjoy the rest of your day at Dreamworld. Now how about this one? Oh, a little bit better. You're welcome to come down on this side of the fence. The handlers will be out for a short time longer. We just ask that you please use the ramps, okay? No climbing the fence. Enjoy your armor. See you later.
Thanks a lot, like that.
Thanks, mate.